New day, blue sky, blue-ish sky. I don't believe it. We have a statue here by famous Welsh sculpture. I really like this sort of just hidden in the back behind the standing figure. It's just meant to represent a Welsh woman. But the more you look at it, the more it's like you get a feeling for like the strength that it sort of encapsulates. It's a really good sculpture. Right in front of its importance. Not something I was expecting to see in Cardiff. Oh yeah, it's cool, he's got his own statue. Alright, here we go, Cardiff Castle. We are gonna go and purchase a ticket. Gareth Bale, what? Yeah, right. This castle is protected by the dragon, obviously. So we've got the lily things in the little drawbridge. It's quite impressive from this angle. So the Celtic faction obviously decided to put the Treb inside the castle, obviously to protect the Treb from being sniped. Very valuable piece of equipment. Can't let those English... Oh, they've also got these bombard cannons, obviously. I can only assume the English are just outside the walls, coming from that direction. Oh, the English are bringing the sun. That's why there's blue sky today. The English are invading with their sunshine. I never thought I would say that in my life. Sounds totally absurd. Gosh. The sneak surprise English attack with sunshine versus the Welsh Celtic trebuchet and 2 bombard cannons that are somehow stationed inside the castle. What kind of AoE 2 logic is this? I figured it out. It's the squirrels' trebuchet to defeat the humans. Wow. So I'm in the World War II bunker, air raid shelter, which was used because the castle walls were sufficiently strong. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit.
I am speaking to you from the cabinet room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note, saying that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
And people wondered why veterans struggled with talking to, sharing their feelings after the war. I love that this existed. I wonder if they would have had the lighting. I don't think they would have. I mean, it really, I mean, obviously you need the lighting for it to be a tourist attraction, but, gas mask, clothes, and torch handy. Good night. That's crazy to think about. Having PTSD. I mean, to be fair though, not like in terms of war effort, yeah, you don't want people talking, but you and me got PTSD. Like, this is probably my favorite poster. Just hiding under the table. Alright, yes, excellent. Like the atmosphere I was expecting. The juxtaposition is like hundreds of people would have been in the corridors like this. So Norman Keep, Victorian Castle, so Norman Keep on the right, Victorian Castle, sort of like a folly, and then a big sports stadium. Oh, and then like I think maybe a town hall. Don't mind this view either. Can see the dragon. It's an airplane, it's obviously an air raid. I'm not 100% sure. Am I at a stadium? No. I'm at a castle. Hopefully that works. Well, we can't quite hide this stadium. But that wall through the middle was the the Norman wall, when the Normans originally fortified this position in about the 10th century. Exposed during the Victorian era. So that's probably, I think that'll be the oldest part of the castle complex. Oldest that I've encountered so far. Apparently, this is the favorite view of the 18th century artists. I think nowadays, I don't know if the clock tower was built by then, but you miss out on the clock tower, so I don't know if this is the 8th view nowadays. But you certainly get an idea of the scope of the square down below and the size of the trebuchet. It's like a clever way of adding value from the wall. You don't realize it's filled with stones from the other side, but from this side you're slightly elevated so you can see. Alright, we're gonna go up the keep. It's just starting to rain, So hopefully I can do this and then see the inside. So the hill is artificial. It's part of the original Motte and Bailey Castle setup. So it's always, well, initially it was timber, but only for about 50 years. And then it was built as a stone keep by the Normans. And originally it was a bit bigger, but we're not in original times. So like most medieval castles or keeps, this was originally a great hall, and all the squares would have been timber framing to support multiple levels. So this section would have been multiple rooms, multi-level, and then at the top, obviously the soldiers can just run around, fire arrows at the enemy. Well, there's actually quite a lot of timber. And this was all taken down during the English Civil War. The castle was besieged multiple times. And a lot of the modern day, well, that's the reason why it was ruined for about 100 years. And the modern day stuff is all from like the 18th century, I think. If my memory is right. I'm the king of the castle, you're the dirty rascal. I feel like that would actually be the ultimate version of King of the Castle. Just from up here. Because it's on top of the hill. The ancient and modern Cardiff. Alright, so in the trees is the River Taff. And we want to go a bit that way. Just a spire there is Cardiff Cathedral. And the River Taff is, I believe, is probably sourced from that gap in the hills. And there should be another castle up that way. And the statue, the ruined statue, I imagine is beyond there, but that's my imagination. Trying to piece little historical clues together on that one. Also, I realized you can just see the Ferris wheel. Oh, and actually the Welsh Parliament building is on the other side. So we're a bit inland, but not massively so. So that should give you an idea of how far inland the castle, and also the original Roman, so the first, I guess, site here was actually a Roman fort, which is inside the cafe. We'll go see that soon. But yeah, so you can see the Welsh Parliament building, which would be where the coastline is from here. I suspect the castle is strategically located. Treb's got what, 16 range, 18 range? Just so you can treb down any land invasion. Rising from the Norman fortifications. I mean, the Motte and Bailey castle. How windows used to be held open back in the day. Or your old school shutter system. Actual bombard used in the Age of Empires 2 Siege of Doubt, I think. Yeah, Doko is Dukia. This is the Arab room, which reminds me vaguely of the Alhambra. Obviously with a Victorian, I think, touch. Like the geometries aren't quite as intricate. I like the birds. This is where all the money from the coal mines went in the 1860s and 1870s, essentially. I do like paintings that tell a story. Too bad I don't read Latin. Certain emblems just work better in 3D. Pray for the archer's knees. I think this is to the stairs to the little chapel. Oh, you know, just my backup dining room. As you do. Only room for 4. Library, study. This is the downstairs of the staircase. Very ornate. Alright, if I was to guess, I would say Greek. Looks like cuneiform. I'm not sure, maybe Phoenician? Those look like hieroglyphs. And... ooh. Not sure as well. Maybe Coptic or something. I should probably mention the actual oldest part of Cardiff itself is this Roman wall excavated in the early 1900s. I like what they've done with the arcades. Random Victorian entranceway in the Cardiff Museum. Cheeky little snack zone. Got the sauces. Faggots, peas, and mash. Let's go. Alright, so the question is, how does it taste? I've already had some, so I've made up my mind, but just for like... it's like... so I think it's just a bunch of offcuts, like meat offcuts. So it kind of tastes like haggis, but a bit more meaty. Like haggis if like it wasn't quite as like spiced, but also so you've got like less spice but more like a ground meat sort of taste. But it's definitely got that like haggis or like black pudding sort of twang. So yeah, pretty good. So a little bit of historical background based on trying to remember from Wikipedia. When I looked at that months ago, faggots and peas are sort of like a poor coal miners food. So it's like specific, not to necessarily to Wales, but like the area. So like the Welsh, the part of England that's close to Wales, as well as the part of Wales that's close to England. And for a long time, I think it was like a staple of various coal miners. It's good. Cardiff market. It's a neat little day space. In the style of there's a place like this in Adelaide as well. Port Adelaide to be specific. It's kind of set up in a few, I think in Dublin as well, with the glass sort of roof. To give you an idea, this place is selling aquatics primarily, obviously toys on the side, 30 years. But then the place over here, selling records, CDs, DVD, music store, 1969. Part of the fabric of the central market, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely a certain, I want to say early 1900s, which would make sense because that's when Cardiff really took off as a city with the coal mining boom. Like, it's very much in that style, this building. And the way the stalls are all set out. And the fact it's raining outside and I'm currently not getting wet. 1891. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Yes, that's right. The friend of freedom is not American, he's Welsh. I feel like we have a couple of the older buildings. 1876, and now it's American saloon bar. Go figure.